Now, first today, Judy's been going on about this for so long. It's this documentary called Sweet Bobby. It's a must-see. If you don't know the backstory to the documentary, it follows the story of a woman striking up a friendship online that turns into a relationship with Judy. Judy's like, but she struck up a relationship with someone that she has never met. So Kirat, who you saw there, is now campaigning to make this sort of thing, which is often called catfishing, a specific offence to recognise the devastating impact it can have. Now, Judy, you introduced us all to this show. What do you make of essentially making catfishing illegal?
I mean, look, people say, like, you know, someone didn't steal their money, they didn't steal their assets, but as far as I'm concerned, you would have stole someone's time. And that's one of the most precious things you can do. You know, this lady's journey, we're talking expanded over, like, 8 years. Yes, the first 4 years or so was a friendship, and then it went into a relationship. And these was key moments in her life, wanted to get married, wanted to have children, and that was taken away of her because of this relationship. I think it's definitely something that needs to be looked at regards to what can be done regards to deeming it as a crime. Yeah. Because when are we going to get to a stage to put something in place that this can kind of be restricted, how people can just easily make these profiles and just completely take over somebody's life?
Well, do you think that we have to, as individuals, take more responsibility for our actions? Because if you haven't met this person, during the course of the documentary, she sort of said that they saw each other, well, she saw him across the room of a nightclub.
And he blanked.
And he blanked her, but that's the only physical contact that she ever had with him. But for 4 years as a friendship and 4 years as a relationship, they went deep into a relationship.
Definitely.
But do we have to take more responsibility in terms of not necessarily believing those people who we've never met? And this happens quite a lot with people sending money and that sort of thing. When we know that these things can happen, do we have to take responsibility for how we deal with these situations?
I think you do, but the thing is, she had that friendship first, and I think that's what secured it. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot of stuff in there. I was like, girl, if he's got all these issues, why do you still want this relationship? But I remember that they had the 4-year friendship first, which might have sealed it.
I mean, sorry.
Go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that with this incident, I felt that there were so many different avenues to it. For one, there was a cultural pressure because within her culture, it's important that they get married at a certain time, and that pressure was definitely added to her, and she was feeling that kind of ticking clock, you know, and wanting to have children. And also, I felt that the relationship was coercive. I've been in a coercive relationship myself, and once you start to rely upon that person, and remember, that person was giving her a lot of emotional support before they were in a relationship. So therefore, there were some really establishing factors or foundational factors of that friendship and relationship put in place before the relationship started. So I feel like it was a coercive relationship, and I definitely feel that there needs to be laws in place for that. I mean, if there was a law in place when I was being coerced for about 8 years, I would have had a hook to put that on. I would have had the language to be able to explain what was going on with me and in this relationship, but it just didn't exist at the time. So do I think that should be legalised, and should that be become illegal, coercive relationships? 100%, absolutely. Yep, 100%.
Well, I mean, I'll take the current laws on catfishing. With the exception of harassment and sending abusive messages, there are no criminal laws against impersonation on social media.
Wow.
But the thing
Not at all.
Sorry, just to come back on that. The thing is, if in this instance, taking on somebody else's identity has caused harm, meaning it was abusive, so therefore that should equal an offence.
It's deception, it's fraud.
What do you make of it, Bain?
Well, having had personal experience of dating apps myself, there were quite a few occasions when I was contacted by people that were in the army or in the forces, and saying, you know, I'm just about to go out to fight here, and can we talk? Can you? And then it got to, can you send me some money? And from somebody who's telling me to send them some money, I'm turning off from that anyway. So I think there is a personal responsibility that we have to take. My whole thing with this, I'm sorry to say, is after 4 years, you're chatting and chirping to some brother on a computer online and you ain't lipsed him up and seen him, that is not... Get out.
Red flag.
Get out. Just get out.
Yeah.
What are you doing? This is almost a decade she's talking to this man. A decade, and you want to have his children and you ain't seen him. You need to... There's more you need to see before you're saying you want to get married.
And that is a word according to Brenda Edwards.